You're listening to the Multiverse Fancast, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
All right then, on with the show.
Welcome back to the Multiverse Fancast. Don't forget you can take us on the go with Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere that you listen to your podcast. You can also check out our website, themisfitfaction.com, where you get links to all of our episodes, as well as some content that Paul has written and Rob has written before too, as well as our merchandise. So, we got a great episode today. With me in the studio, wow, this is rough. Sorry, guys. We got Paul. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just enjoying the show, Ronnie.
Thanks.
It's been a long morning for Ronnie.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long weekend, but we're here. We survived.
Kind of.
We got a nice episode. So just a couple days ago, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania opened up in theaters. So we're going to do our little review on that. Before we do that, we have just a wee bit of news, but more just discussion on trailers.
Now, really quick, before we continue, we're not going to keep making small or short jokes this entire time. You've already said wee bit, a nice small episode for you. It's not going to be the whole time.
No, that was completely unintentional.
Yeah, right.
But let's start with DC. So
okay.
DC, we had The Flash.
Flash.
We had a little TV spot in the Super Bowl, and then we had an extended trailer for it. What are your thoughts, Paul?
I mean, I'll go see it.
Yeah.
It's amazing that Michael Keaton saying that I'm Batman has attracted everyone who, Ezra Miller kidnapped people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just wild that, like, the trailer itself is getting a lot of positive fan reviews and a lot of positive feedback. And, yeah, obviously we're excited. We're excited to see Keaton and Batfleck and kind of see where this movie's going to send the DC. There's a lot that I like in this trailer. I like how Barry's new suit looks much better than in any of the concept art because we had only seen like a brief teaser for this movie. This movie is like coming out soon.
Yeah,
like
3 months,
something like that. Like it's right around the corner. So the fact that this is our first trailer for it was kind of shocking. But then again, they also had to do reshoots on the whole ending.
Yeah,
very very controversial when they pulled Ezra Miller back in the middle of him being a wanted criminal.
Yes.
But anywho,
interesting.
And we talked a little bit about the trailer on Cinematic Adventures too, which you guys can check out on our website, themisfitfaction.com. Shameless plug. But we talked a little bit about it, and just it's weird because we're excited, but at the same, and we hope that Ezra Miller, whatever they're going through, they're getting the help that they need and all that stuff. Like Hollywood also loves a good comeback story.
Yeah.
Look at your Robert Downey Jr. stuff like that. Like, what?
No, every time I hear a comeback story, I think of the Parks and Rec blooper.
Oh, let's not say that one out loud. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
You can go look it up yourselves, everyone.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian. But anyway, so yeah, I'm excited. I do like how they changed his lightning to the gold in this. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to explain it in any capacity. We're getting a better look at what this movie's looking like, and I think maybe when we get closer, we'll talk about the Flashpoint Paradox. I think maybe did we do an episode on the Flashpoint Paradox?
I feel like we did.
I know we talked about it.
Yeah, but to go back to your change in the lightning, I feel like they only changed it just so we can differentiate which Barry is which.
I wouldn't be surprised because obviously in this trailer where there are two Barry, I wouldn't be surprised if one turns evil or one's not really Barry. They'll do something like that. It looks like he's also giving his powers to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Flashpoint, that Batman helped Barry get his powers back because in that timeline he didn't have any powers because he wasn't the Flash because he saved his mom's life. So blah blah blah. But I'm excited, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen afterwards. Because there's so much speculation about this movie. There's a lot of thoughts about what was taken out, what's still in there, et cetera, blah blah black sheep. But we don't know what's going to be happening in this movie until we're finished in the actual theater.
Yeah.
What about you?
Again, I'll definitely go see it. It's got my attention. I think the main reason people want to see it, I think, is for Keaton, Ben Affleck, and what's her face?
Sasha Cole.
Thank you.
I was going to say even Michael Shannon coming back as Zod.
Yeah, that too.
I thought Zod was a great villain.
Yes.
I was really kind of upset. Obviously, we've talked about him getting killed off in Man of Steel, but it's nice to see him back.
But this is a great way to reintroduce him and not have him dead anymore, But in the trailer, it's weird because it makes it seem like, well, I guess in the new Barry in this universe, I guess, was never the Flash.
Right.
So that's why he doesn't. But then at the same time, it's like he doesn't know about Batman, because in this we see him like
Well,
shocked that there's a Batman
Well,
in
he
his
faints.
universe.
So like it's weird. Again, trailers are really sneaky with context and lines and stuff like that because it makes it seem like when Barry does whatever he does and changes everything, he goes to this new timeline where Michael Keaton's Batman is the Batman, and the other Barry faints when he sees him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because, oh my God, that's Batman, or oh my God, what is that?
Yeah.
And also there's a line in it where he says, and again, you can't trust trailers with stuff like this, especially when you don't see the actual character saying the line. It's a voiceover where he says, I made a world where there were no metahumans.
Yes.
So who knows, like in all honesty,
Yeah.
what kind of changes we're going to be looking at. Because Flashpoint does a lot of big changes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have the capability to do it.
But yeah, so I think we're both on the same page. We definitely want to go see it. So, but the other trailer, or trailers, I should say, right? Because I think we got 2. I could be wrong.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah. No. Of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this trailer made me more excited to see it than the Flash one.
Well, that's usually what a trailer does.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying more than the Flash.
You're more excited for Guardians than the Flash? That's
yes. Fair. I think it was the other way around until I saw the trailer, but I think I was just more excited for the Flash to see what they do with Ezra Miller than anything else. But now it's, what are they doing with the other characters for that? But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy kind of has me a little intrigued with everything. The trailer doesn't show too much though, which is good.
It's a very depressing trailer. It's like a dark trailer. Like a lot of sad in this one.
Yeah,
people getting tortured.
You see at one point Star-Lord's being carried, to lead to probably speculation that
at least
gone.
I would say at least 2 of the Guardians are going to die.
Yes,
I think that's a fair.
I think Drax and Star-Lord.
Drax and Star-Lord. I think Rocket and Drax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they're going to keep Chris Pratt?
I mean, they can keep him in any capacity.
Yeah.
Because just because this is the last Guardians movie doesn't mean it's the last time we see the Guardians.
No.
Let's not forget. Like, they were in Thor, Love and Thunder, and, the Avengers movies. Like, people know they exist. So I'd be okay if, like, they just kind of were back, like, fun cameos type things.
Yeah.
But it looks interesting. And again, we'll be first in line at the theater to go see it.
I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong with a Guardians movie.
No.
Like, the first one was really, really good. Mm-hmm. Second one was a good movie. So I'm hoping that...
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Hat trick. Sports.
Good job.
Nailed it.
Yay, Paul.
Yep, nailed it.
But yeah, so that's our news for today. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our little non-spoiler section like we usually do when we review a new movie.
Yeah, because at the time of recording, this movie's been out for...
2 days?
2 days.
Yes. So we'll do our non-spoiler, then we'll take a little commercial break. So, non-spoilers. Thoughts, Paul?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was wildly okay. If you like Ant-Man, you'll like this movie enough. It's not going to blow you away. It's not going to be like the best Marvel movie ever. I enjoyed it, though. It was exactly what I was expecting. And there's a lot of good in it. There's some really interesting script choices and some weird editing shots. I think, like, even when we're sitting in the theater, I was like, that's a weird...
Yeah.
Why do they transition like... And we're not, like, film buffs in that regards where we know, like, technical stuff and all that, but... It was very strange, and for this movie takes place all in one quote unquote location the entire time. So, which I have more and more questions about the more they introduce the quantum realm. Like, how do they still shrink in the quantum realm? How do they get bigger in the quantum realm?
Yeah.
I thought they were all subatomic. So shouldn't they just be able to grow big enough to just get out like Scott did in the first one? I have questions.
Yeah, I'll agree with you that this movie was. To me, it was a good movie. Mm-hmm. It was good. It was solid. It did what it had to do, which was introduce the new big bad for
moving forward,
the next phase or two, right? So, I mean, other than that, I kind of agree. Like, some of the choices with the editing was a little wonky. So I'm curious as if that was like the original plan, or if things got cut out and it's on the floor, or what the case is. I think if you take out the editing, because I think the script was good. Obviously, casting, it's pretty much all the same people, the main people, So again, it was a good Ant-Man movie, or really good Ant-Man movie, I would say. But overall, generally speaking, like MCU wise, middle of the road.
That's fair. It's weird because like the critics are slamming it.
Yes.
Like it's getting ruined on like Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's the only
46%. I think I'm Rotten.
Yeah, one of 2 movies that MCU movies that actually are rotten.
Yeah.
Which I don't usually put a lot of stock into that.
No.
But I don't know. It's just very down the middle of the road. But it's doing better with the audiences, which was usually to be expected. But
yeah, I feel like it's always like that with superhero movies in general. It's always the audience score is the complete opposite of what the critics are.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like, it's to be expected. Even Thor: Love and Thunder, as much as we, the more we've thought about that movie, the less we liked it.
Yeah.
Even that still, like, I think it's still considered positive on Rotten Tomatoes, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. But yeah, this movie, it's very small scale. It's very, literally, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Like, it has no direct effect on any other character. And it actually answers one of the oldest questions. Why don't the other Avengers come? And I think, no spoilers, but Scott at one point says, I've already called the other Avengers and they're on their way.
Yeah.
He's lying, but like, this is one of the few times where it makes total sense that nobody can come and save them.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget, Scott got lost in the quantum realm for years, quote unquote, even though it was actually just 4 hours.
Yeah.
So, or 5 hours. Five. Yeah, because it was 5 years later.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I would love to learn more about this world. I'd watch a spin-off of this or a Disney Plus show, like the Quantum Realm or something like
with
that.
With like the, because I guess it's not really spoiling, but in the movie we find out there's like a rebellion going on down there
against
Kang.
Kang.
So something like that as like a spin-off Disney Plus show, I think would be cool.
I'm still very disappointed that we did not have Luis in here for any sort of Luis recap. The Luis recaps are probably the best thing.
I think they should. What smart way to do it was they should have had him in the beginning of the movie.
I think he should have been doing the narrating.
Yeah. Like recapping, what happened.
Oh my God.
Lead up to this point.
I would watch that in a heartbeat. Why are we not doing this Disney Plus?
Yeah, right.
I'd even watch at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, not Quantumania because it's all very confusing.
Yeah.
Their security business is like thriving. I would love to see like a security business in the MCU. I think stuff like that is just funny. Not as a show. As like a Werewolf by Night type special.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool for them to do something like that. And I think it would work if you get Luis and the other guys back. Because what's his face? David I can't ever say his. Dasmalchian?
Yeah.
He's in this movie as Veb. He does the voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I saw him when we were there. I saw him in the credits. I was like, who was he? And then I looked and I was like, oh.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I find that also, I think that's also what hinders Ant-Man a little bit in this. Yeah. He works best off of the right characters. And it was a very confined story too. Him and Cassie were kind of doing one thing while Hope, Janet, and Hank were doing something else. So
Henry.
That's
so weird.
She calls him Henry, yeah. I always forget that Hank is just another way of saying Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. But anywho, so yeah, do you want to talk about the cast a little bit first, or do you want to do our spoiler warning, then get into it? Because some of the cast alone are a little spoilery.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to go into spoilers. But first, a quick commercial break.
Hey guys, it's Paul, and the Misfit Faction is looking for your help. We are trying to grow not only our network, but also grow our brands, and the best way to do that is if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast. Maybe you guys have been listening to us for a while. Maybe it's something you guys have always wanted to do, but you're not sure how to get started. If you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys will get a month of free podcasting set as a gift from us. So make sure if you guys are looking to start your own show, you reach out to us and go to podbean.com/misfitfaction. Also, maybe you guys have your own online business or service that you're always looking to grow, and advertising is a very big part of that. If you guys go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys can get $100 worth of free advertising, again, as a thank you from us to you guys. That's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction.
Welcome back, y'all. This is your spoiler warning. We're going to go right into some spoilers. So, we get Kang. Oh, wait. That's not a spoiler. We knew that.
Kang's the bad guy. I knew it.
Which one? What?
Wait, what?
But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll kind of run down through the cast. Obviously, starting things off, Mr. Paul Rudd.
What a joy he is.
I feel like every time we talk about Paul Rudd, we always say the same thing, so it's hard to talk about him. And it's just, he makes the movie.
And you know what's even funnier is Scott Lang has become a huge celebrity in the world. The first thing we got was his podcast, because Miss Marvel, they mentioned it. That was one of my favorite lines, that he is the one that told everybody about what happens, throughout the course of, Endgame and how all that happens. So he's already like doing things, and then he writes this book. Apparently, you could get this book.
Really?
Yeah, this book's like a real thing that you could actually order, and it's called "Look Out for the Little Guy,"
Yeah.
and I really do enjoy where we find Scott, because you watch Scott's journey, and we're in our 30s. We're both married. Ronnie has a stepdaughter and now a baby on the way. Mm-hmm. Ronnie's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I do. No.
I do. And so our perspective changed throughout the course of these movies, and I find like Ant-Man is the one that really, like, as we watch, we relate to him in better ways.
Yes.
So like in the first one, he's a down on his luck kind of guy, and just he wants to do well by his family and his daughter in particular, and he's just trying to get his life back together, and he gets thrown into this world of superheroing. Then in the second movie, he's trying to deal with the repercussions of being a superhero and the Sokovia Accords and all that.
Yeah.
So it's nice that this movie starts off with him just happy and in a good mood, and it ends the same. Again, spoilers. It ends the same way for the most part.
Yeah.
So I found it very interesting that, again, this movie is very self-contained. It is very, here's our story. It's here, and there will be ramifications. But, for the most part, like, Scott's just a happy guy. And spoiler alert, nobody died.
Yeah.
I'll even argue that Kang's actually still alive. Again,
oh, yes.
we warned you.
Yep.
And we'll talk about Kang in a second, but I will argue that Kang's still alive in some capacity. Obviously, we saw the Council of Kanes. But I don't know. We were really putting money down that Scott Lang was not going to survive.
Yeah, I think when we kind of talked about this, I don't remember when we talked about it last on air, but I know we talked about who's going to die and everything. What do we expect? And I think we both said, bye-bye, Scott.
Yeah.
Obviously we don't want that.
We thought Scott, we thought Hank.
Yep.
I think we thought Janet at one point too.
I think during the movie, I think it was like, oh, she did.
Yeah, we always kind of assumed that Hope and Cassie were going to survive.
Yeah.
Why recast Cassie if you're not going to keep her?
Yeah.
Which is another thing. Apparently they said recently that there are no intentions of doing a Young Avengers movie. I was like, sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's why you only have like
12-year-olds.
3/4 of the Young Avengers right now.
I even say more at this point. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, true.
So I really did enjoy, and the only thing that really weirded me out about Scott Lang was at the end when he's charging into battle and he's grown. It's just the way that he's talking is very strange. He's like, Kang, you made a promise to me. I was like,
yeah,
they definitely added that in post. That was something that was not probably a part of the original script.
No,
but it was very strange. What did you think, Scott?
Again, it's just Scott Lang. I mean,
a gem.
He is the same in every movie he's been in, yet at the same time, like, there's always growth with him. Mm-hmm. Starting in the first one, like you said, he's like, almost like depressed, like almost reluctant to be the superhero and everything. And now he's like, I am the superhero, even though people think he's Spider-Man.
That was the best. And then he gets charged $12 for a coffee.
And at the end of the movie, that's $12.
Well, it's even funnier is that they thought he was Spider-Man. People hated Spider-Man, I thought.
Yeah, right?
It's weird. But one thing that I will say, though, is like it was very jarring that when they go to the quantum realms, Scott's like, this isn't our fight. We're not here to help them.
Yeah.
And, like, it causes the tension between him and Cassie. I was like, that's really out of place for Scott, the look out for the little guy kind of guy. So that was again, I get it, because like he just wants to protect his daughter right now.
Yes.
The stakes are different for him in this.
Yeah.
Like in Endgame, he wanted. I mean, I hate to say it, Scott's a little selfish.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to bring everybody back for the sake of bringing people back. He wanted Hope back.
Yes.
So I don't know, but he's relatable. Like, it's not he's not malicious, he's not vindictive. And again, he goes to help Captain America because he's like, this is the right thing to do.
Yeah. He basically is like,
there's layers to Scott.
Exactly. He's like, I'm doing this for my reasons. If I help other people at the same time, okay.
Yeah.
But mainly it's, I want to help out people I care about, I love. It's a bonus to help others, basically. Mm-hmm. Moving on down the list, we had Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne, or Wasp.
They did not give her a lot in this movie.
No. The only thing they gave her was a haircut.
Yeah, that I think even MODOK mentions that.
Yeah.
I feel like it was weird because in the last movie, she was like such a big part.
Yeah.
And, obviously they put her as second billing. And, in the title, too.
Yeah.
She almost felt like an afterthought.
Yeah, this was almost like more focused on Cassie
and Scott.
Scott and Janet.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
We had Hope's story told in 2 movies, and obviously, but like she's the main character.
Yeah.
I did like how in the beginning of the movie they did address the fact that she's using Pym particles to help with things like deforestation
Yes.
and starvation. I was like, finally.
Yeah.
Like that is one thing about these movies. Like they could solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. Well, that was like the whole thing with, like in Black Panther and everything was using the vibranium to help the world out and everything and not keep it a secret. And here it's the complete opposite. It's like, yeah, no, there's no doubt we are going.
Which is,
to use
well,
this
because
to
it's funny
help.
because in the first Ant-Man movie, the whole point was for them to stop Darren from figuring out the Pym particle.
Yeah.
And so it's great that we're finally here and like, they're doing well. And it's nice that Scott could just, do book tours and listen to his own audiobook.
Yeah, right.
Dying. Like that's like,
They're
not
in
going to
the
lie.
car.
I've listened to our podcast before.
Yeah.
Mostly just to hear, obviously when I do editing, quote unquote editing, I have to, listen to some of it.
Yeah.
But I was dying. But again, I feel like Wasp as cool, because she was awesome in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Like she was really cool. Like she was like the real fighter in that. Like
Yeah.
she was you gave her wings and blasters. Oh.
Yeah. The only thing she really did in this movie was at the end of the movie when she saved Scott.
Which was a great moment.
Oh, yes.
I was shocked. I thought they were going to leave them down there for a second.
Yeah.
All they had to do was press the button.
Yeah, right?
And that was a weird creative choice where like the portal opens and Scott just says, "Let's go home." Like he
Yeah.
knew that it was there. I was like, "Turn around."
Yeah.
I don't know. I really thought that they were going to leave him there.
I did too. That's the way they made it seem too. When the portal opened up and then all of a sudden he pushes Cassie through because he's I don't know if he saw Kang or what the case was, but he pushes her through and he's got the battle and you're sitting there and you're going, no, now he's going to die. Or, oh, now he's going to get stuck in the quantum realm. And then all of a sudden it's just, nope. Boom, just like that. It's just a click of the button, opens back up. Here comes Wasp to save the day. And it's like, it was that easy. So they weren't going to ever leave him. They didn't, like for us, it almost made it seem like there was nothing they can do to open up the door again. Like it had to, it could only last 10 seconds and then it disappears forever.
Yeah, it was a little,
a
little strange.
So,
All right, you want to talk about him? Talk about the big man? Cassie Lang. No. Jonathan Majors,
Yes.
man. Kang the Conqueror.
all right. So, anyone else get scared?
Kang was very intimidating.
Right?
I will
Yes.
I will say it.
Right? Not scared as in like frightened scared, but like scared as in like this dude is nuts. What is he gonna do? Like, I think he was amazing.
Yeah, they did a really good
this.
job.
And his suit and everything, when he
It
finally
all
got,
worked.
Oh, there was I can't think of anything they did wrong when it came to Kang.
So they did a lot of great things. First of all, Jonathan Majors is really good.
Yes.
He was great as when he portrayed He Who Remains
Yep.
on Loki. I had to remind Melanie about who Kang was. She's
Yeah.
like, "Who's Kang?" I was like, "He was in Loki, the variants, and all that stuff," which is still very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we knew that he had the right chops beforehand, and I was really excited to see what he was going to bring as Kang, and he does not disappoint. Kang was scary. He was intimidating. The thing is, like, there was really no way that a single Avenger could have beaten him. It's
Yeah.
not like, like Thor beat Malekith or,
Yeah.
all these characters like one-on-one, Captain America beat somebody. Red
Skull.
Red Skull. So for me, like, watching him just kind of tear apart Scott Lang and Cassie, like barely even moving, just kind of flicking his hand
Yeah.
around. That was already like enough, but the look really worked. That was a weird suit to have to try and adapt, and I think they did it right.
Yeah.
And just like him shooting his energy blast and his shields and stuff like that, he was really, really
Yeah.
good. It's a shame he wasn't in a better written movie.
Yes. My thing though is like, so he's this big bad OP guy. How did he lose?
They tricked him.
But what I'm saying is like with like at the end with like Wasp, like he got defeated by that. Like he was able to stop Cassie and Scott easily.
Because his armor was so destroyed. Without his tech, he's like a lot like Iron Man. Without his tech,
Yeah.
he's not nearly as powerful. And that's the only reason he was able to conquer the quantum realm. Say that 4 times fast.
Yeah, right.
Woof. Was because he was able to get his suit back at least.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to use that technology. So the ant thing was a little weird. I did notice,
Yeah.
though, when we were watching the movie that the ants fell in there with him.
Yes.
And I was waiting to see if there was going to be a payoff to that or if they just killed a bunch of ants.
Yeah.
No fun named ants in this one.
No.
I was kind of, Anthony! Still breaks my heart watching that.
Yeah, right.
And then I think he had Antonio Banderas.
Yep,
Like, he
Ant's
had some fun ones.
Yeah.
Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole time I thought the same thing. I'm like, all right, when are the ants coming?
Yeah.
You know, you knew it, especially when, you know, they were, who was it? One of the people of the rebellion or whatever was like,
What's an ant?
What's an ant? Do we have those down here? You
Oh,
know?
it was Bill Murray. Bill Murray said that.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Talk about a wasted cameo. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But what a waste.
Oh, that's a disappointment. But
But-
yeah, Jonathan Majors, I think, killed it as always.
Now,
You
I'm
know?
curious to see what they're going to do, because obviously at the end, in the mid-credit scene, we see the Council of Kangs, and it's
Yes.
like hundreds of these Kangs. Some of them are actually notable ones from the comics. Mortis, Ramatut, and Scarlet Centurion. And Victor Timely in the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Those are all comic book accurate versions of Kang the Conqueror. So I'm curious to see if, because obviously the Conqueror, quote unquote, was supposedly killed in this movie.
Yeah.
Like shrunk into oblivion. But we've seen that doesn't always work, and that there are various different Kangs.
Yes.
And he does say that his death is going to bring about something way worse.
Yeah.
So basically, we find out that the Kangs find out that an Avenger killed one of them. And they're like, well, they're getting too powerful then.
Yeah.
We need to do something about it. They're touching the multiverse. Like,
Yes.
because when they killed He Who Remains, the timelines all started splitting.
Yeah.
Again, something I feel they showed them in this.
Yeah.
I still feel like we have not seen a whole lot of,
No.
at least some explanation, please.
Yeah.
That's what happens when he makes time travel with multiple realities.
Yes. You can't explain anything. And then it makes the audience try to figure it out themselves. And when that happens, you have a million different definitions or variations and everything. And everyone's opinion, like, almost in a way doesn't matter because no one knows the truth. You know?
My brain hurts already.
Right? So...
We are really in the year of the multiverse, though, which is
Yes.
awesome considering our name of our show.
Yeah, right.
And just it's wild that the studios used to fight this stuff. Like they were like, no, it's too confusing. We're still gonna go see it in the theaters.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
still gonna
Yeah.
And this movie, speaking of seeing in theaters, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it's made us money.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say almost 235 million as of right now.
Not too shabby, if you
Yeah.
ask me.
I don't know what's it called? The
budget?
the budget was, but yeah, I mean the box office is already 225.3 million in its opening weekend. That's not bad.
Not at all.
That's not bad.
Not at all.
All right, going down the cast list though.
Let's keep going. Next up, we had a newbie to the
Kind-
MCU.
Kinda.
Well, Why kind of?
I mean, Cassie Lang's been around.
Well, I was talking about the actress.
Oh, okay.
Catherine Newton from
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
I really like Catherine Newton. I thought she was better in this because we've talked about Supernatural and we've talked about characters we don't like on Supernatural. And Claire Novak was one of those characters that nobody really liked.
Yeah.
And she got worse, which is strange. Like she was great with like Dean and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
even her with Cass. But yeah, Catherine Newton did not have a big following. But like we never, 99% of the time, we will never hate an actor for a character they play.
No.
Because that's a job.
Yes.
And that is, it's not real. Like, despite the fact that we're sitting here talking about it,
It's called acting.
it's called acting. But I thought she did fine.
Yeah.
I think the only benefit of having Cassie Lang at this point is because she's been around, but we
Yeah.
don't know anything about her.
No. And we got to know a little bit about her because, in the beginning of the movie when they're talking about, she built this device to send the beacon down to the quantum realm, and she's
Which-
like, "What do you
shut up.
What did you think I was
Shut-
supposed to do for the 5 years everyone was
Shut
gone?"
up. No, not why is everybody so freaking smart? Everybody is smart, they're good looking. What is this, a CW show?
Well, kind of.
What is it? What's the line from Supergirl? You look like the athletically diverse but non-threatening cast of a CW show.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's still one of the best lines.
Yeah.
Who is it? Yeah, the editor from Supergirl. Oh my, Calista Flockhart.
Yes.
It's driving me crazy. Cat Grant. There
Yep.
it is. Cat Grant. But
That's
still one of the best lines in a Supergirl
Yeah.
property ever. It was so accurate. But like she's there. She was
I
kind
don't know.
I could see her doing more. I did like some of the stuff with her.
Yeah.
Her learning how to actually throw a punch
Yes.
was a lot of fun and some good payback.
Jump and click.
So I'm really glad, though, that they made her have such a strong learning curve. Like,
Yes.
even by the end of it, she had to convince MODOK to help them, not
Yeah.
beat him into helping them.
Yes.
Which I think it shows enough of a difference between her and... Because the problem also is you have Ant-Man and Wasp who have very similar powers, but at the same time, very different powers.
Yeah.
Like, Ant-Man getting bigger was becoming more of his thing.
Yeah.
And Wasp could obviously fly on her own and shoot blasts. Then you had Cassie, a.k.a. Stature in the comics.
Yeah.
Who could just shrink or get big now. I did like the little callback when she actually took the growing disc and put it in.
Yes.
Just like that's how Scott got out of the quantum realm. But yeah, she's there. She's more plot progression than anything else.
I think I truly believe that she's in there for plot progression and just a young Avengers. We know it's going to happen, even though they're saying it's not happening. It's happening.
But in all honesty, if they just call it Avengers and have these young superheroes in, that's
take
fine.
over. Oh yeah.
Like they don't have to call it Young Avengers. No. They can still call it Avengers. But
yeah, and this was good too. Like you said, with her growing pains, like she had to figure this out in battle. Mm-hmm. Everyone else was able to figure it out like in a training montage, just outside of their house or whatever it may be.
Right.
But she's like got to figure this out on the go and. She kind of held her own for someone that's never really done it before. I'm just curious as to the suit, what it can actually do. Because I know like Ant-Man can control ants, other than just getting big and small. But, according to comics, she's just going to be able to get big and small. Nothing to do with ants,
which I'm fine with. In all honesty, because again, she's not called Ant Girl.
No.
Oh my God! Imagine.
I'm curious to see if they ever call her anything.
Yeah, she's one of those other characters. She has been called Ant Girl, and so notable aliases: Stature is her biggest one, Stinger, Ant Girl, and Giant Girl.
Okay.
And self-size manipulation is kind of her thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I would like to see her maybe interact with some of the other Here, you know what my issue is? We need more reluctant superheroes, and that's why I think I like Scott in this one because he was a little bit more of the reluctant superhero. That's the one thing that's missing because all of these superheroes are just excited to be superheroes. Which don't get me wrong, I would be too, but I would also on a Saturday night be sitting on the couch going, "Oh, I gotta get up."
Yeah,
like we need more of that. I think like or even like your darker anti-heroes. I'd love to see some. Unfortunately, we're not getting different shades anymore of superhero.
Yeah,
and that's why I think that's why the DCEU has such a big following still, because their characters weren't all bright and shiny and happy and all that stuff. Yeah. You had a lot more like you put the Avengers in the room with Zack Snyder's Justice League. The Avengers are all very similar.
Yeah,
and I could see them hanging out, having a beer, doing all these things like they did in Age of Ultron. You got Zack Snyder's Justice League where like Batman's not going to go socialize.
Yeah,
and like Superman may be more like, hey, let's hang out, guys.
Yeah,
And Aquaman's be like, I'm gonna go have some fish.
Yeah,
yeah. But like that's the one problem with Marvel. There's not a whole lot of different. They're all very similar to each other, especially with the quips and all that stuff. Sometimes it's a little much.
Yeah,
but
I'm debating on if we even want to talk about the Freedom Fighters.
We'll go through them really quick.
Yeah,
because I thought Veb was actually really funny. And the fact that it was David Dashmashalashaman, that guy.
Yeah, that
Polka Dot Man.
It
was Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, exactly.
The real king of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Somebody posted a picture, like, the secrets of the multiverse is actually this guy. And it shows him in all these different... I was like, oh my God, I forgot how many things he's done comic book-wise.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in a lot of stuff. I like him, though.
Yeah.
I hope he gets more and more success.
But
Veb? As Veb. And then we have Katie O'Brien as Gentora, who I liked her.
Yeah.
I thought she was. Her and Cassie were a lot of fun together. Like, my plan was to get you out, and now I got nothing.
Yeah, you got something for me?
Yeah. William Jackson Harper as Quaz. I just started watching The Good Place with him in it, and that was a pleasant surprise to see him there.
And it was funny because when he popped up on screen, because again, I think I've seen season 1.
I'm almost done with season 1.
Maybe some of season 2 of The Good Place, and the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, "Who is he?"
He's got a beard in this, and a cool outfit, and no glasses. Let's see.
And he's a telepath.
I liked the visual thing. That was really cool. And that was actually surprisingly where most of the best comedy came from. Was the telepath stuff. Stop thinking that. I'm sorry.
Stop thinking it.
Stop thinking it. I can't help it. Bill Murray as Lord Krylar. What a waste.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have a little bit more.
I don't have a problem with Bill Murray being a bad guy.
No.
But this just gave me Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
Or not Ghostbusters Afterlife, like Answer the Call, I think is the official title they gave it, the female Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It gave me that vibe, and I was like, I don't like it.
No. Yeah. I mean, it was... I think if we got a little bit more to it, you know, because, again, he played a bad guy, but not really like a major...
But not bad guy.
Yeah, but not bad guy.
Yeah.
No, but like he was like the setup guy, really.
Yeah.
He just set them up to be taken by Kang's people, whatever they were
Kang's
called.
his peoples.
You know?
He had one scene, and that was it.
Yeah.
Waste. But apparently him and Janet were doing it.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I like that when they're in the ship. Sorry, I had needs.
I never want to think about, like, obviously Ronnie and I are both happily married to our significant others.
Yes.
I can't ever imagine, like, them disappearing for 30 years.
Yeah.
And then suddenly coming back and you're like, oh.
Well, this is awkward.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's just, that's
Yeah.
only in comic books. Like,
Oh, yeah.
They have not addressed that in any of the blip stuff.
No.
Like, they've talked about the blip a lot and they've done some good things with it. But imagine, 5 years? That's
Yeah.
a long time.
5 years for the blip, but imagine 30 years. Like, you know, but it was just funny. It's like, I have needs.
What are the legal repercussions? Yeah, the whole... that was really funny. And,
Yeah.
And Hope's like, stop it.
Hank's like, there was this
I
one.
went on one date. Oh, and he drops the Indiana Jones line. Well, what was wrong with her? She wasn't you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
All right, Hank. All right, let's talk about Hank and Janet, because Hank's even more wasted in this. And oh my God, Michael Douglas looks old.
Yeah.
He looks younger in the quantum realm with, like, the duster on.
Yeah,
and, like, walking with the ants, all dramatic. He was there.
Yeah. He didn't really have anything to do other than the very end and then stick his hand in some jelly.
Yeah, and some jelly.
You know?
I don't think you're ready for that jelly.
No.
Like, he was there. He was. I find it interesting that Cassie calls him Grandpa Hank.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little strange, but okay. Are Hank and are Hope and Scott married? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I feel like they
either.
would have said if they were.
Yeah.
But
maybe we'll get a recap next time by Luis.
yeah, maybe. And we'll talk a little bit more about Janet, because we find out a lot more about her,
Yes.
and that she did some shady things.
Oh, yeah.
She killed people.
Yep. She killed people. She helped Kang, not knowing he was Kang, obviously. You know, she actually was the one that saved his life at first, you know, when he crashed into the quantum realm, or he got banished there to the quantum realm. You know, she was the one to explore and, in a way, like, save his life, and then he ended up saving her life at the same time, basically. Mm-hmm. And then we see that she helped him rebuild his ship.
Yeah, using also whatever they could find down there.
Yeah.
So I found all that stuff really interesting. I like seeing a little bit more about what she did. I also like seeing why she couldn't shrink anymore, because her like, he damages her suit.
Yeah.
And it was great to see her actually shrink. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. She's,
she had the suit too.
Yeah, but I really wish that they had made, like, a line like, hey, we used to think that you would just keep shrinking for eternity forever and ever, but eventually you stop. Oh, okay. All right. That's always the thing that confuses me, because it's more like you're not even, like, shrinking down to the quantum realm. It's almost like you're teleporting there at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty soon they'll make a door. You can just go.
In and out. Put a lock on it, though.
How long do you think it actually took during this movie? How long do you think they were actually down there?
I feel like it was probably like an hour.
So, like, 4 minutes our time? I don't know. It's weird, right?
Well, no. So I think it might have been an hour time, and maybe like a day.
Yeah,
down
not
there,
very
right?
long.
Is that how it goes? Right? A day down there is an hour.
No, because remember, he was gone there for 5 years, but it was only 5 hours to him.
Okay. So
who knows?
Okay,
but again,
whatever.
it's always different. That was just more of a fun question to annoy everyone.
I feel like it was probably like
long enough for coffee prices to change, apparently.
Yeah, right?
$12. That's what you get for living in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I can say that I'm a native San Franciscan.
San Franciscan?
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
San Diego.
F you, San Diego.
Great Odin's beard. Anyway, but I did like learning a little bit more about Janet. I like seeing some nuance. I like seeing some sides to her. But let's talk about the one that was very hit or miss the entire time, and that is Corey Stoll returning as Darren Cross / MODOK. You were not familiar with MODOK at all.
No.
Okay, so MODOK has a much. He's gotten quite a following as of recent years. They just did a show of MODOK, like an animated, like a claymation almost, like a Robot Chicken style show, with Patton Oswalt doing the voice. Yeah, he's gotten quite a following. He was just in the Avengers game that's finally getting decommissioned, but it was weird.
Yeah,
seeing it.
So I mean,
I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, I think if you don't know the character, you're probably like, "What is that thing?" But then, like, if you look up the character,
mechanized organism designed only for killing.
Yeah.
I like how Scott actually pointed out. You mean it'd be MODOK?
MODOK. Yeah, but like if you look at what MODOK looks like in the comics, that's the best you can do.
That is the best you could do. The fact
unless you go all CGI.
The fact that they were even able to do it, but then everybody's been posting pictures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Mr. Electric, played by help me out here, George Lopez.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah,
like they did do it better.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But I mean, like that's the best you could do. It's with a character that looks like that, But I mean, I
thought it was smart the way that they did it. Like it was basically from him getting shrunk down and deformed. Yes. I thought his redemption was stupid, but it was funny though. Like I am an Avenger. Sure.
At least I died an Avenger.
We really are brothers now. What?
You just see the hand.
Oh my god, the hand. I just noticed how little your legs are.
Again, like I think he was just comedic relief. Not that you really needed comedic relief because but
he was still scary. Like he was still a very formidable force. I when the helmet came down, he looked a lot better. I think.
Yeah.
But
it was just the face.
The face was rough. Sometimes it looked really good, and then other times it was rough.
Yeah.
Again, though, that's your uncanny valley. That's also the mind can only believe so much seeing it, no matter how good the effects are. Sometimes you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then obviously we had our post-credit scene featuring appearances by Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
And they are going to see a performance by Victor Timely, who is a Kang variant in the comics. Yes. And apparently goes back in time to try and put technology in place earlier in the timeline so he could beat the Avengers.
Yes.
Wild. Time travel's rough. And when they said they were going to do Kang, I was like, my brain already hurts. Because Kang is a very complicated villain.
Yeah.
But that was a fun.
Jimmy Woo.
That's right, Jimmy Woo. I like that.
Woo at the beginning.
We're actually hanging out doing magic tricks. Jimmy Woo is a character. Again, he is such a great addition to the MCU because I love the actor. I think he's really funny. B, he's a normal guy in this extraordinary world, and he holds his own. He's very Phil Coulson-y.
Oh yeah.
And again, I liked it was him and Scott. Because now Scott's not a criminal. They repealed the Sokovia Accord. Yeah. So he probably sued. Probably sued the government.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they are.
But I just love because they kind of it was a little bit of like a payoff because at the end of I'm drawing a blank. Whatever movie when he comes off of his house arrest.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
I've seen you, Scott.
Yeah.
Where?
Again, he was like maybe we can go out like to coffee or something.
That was. That's really weird. But yeah, I wish we had some dialogue between them though. That would have been really good.
Yeah.
Or him telling him the story at the end. It should have ended with him sitting with Luis telling him the story.
Yes.
And Luis saying something like, "That was a long story, man. Yeah, shorten that up a little bit."
But no, I think the casting for this, I think we all agree was spot on.
The exception of Bill Murray. Anybody could have played that role.
Oh yeah.
Anybody could have done it.
That's why I'm like, how much of this movie is left on the cutting room floor?
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot.
Because I feel like Bill Murray probably had more to do than just, 2.5, 3 minutes of screen time.
I would have liked to see the flashback of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so let's give our final thoughts mixed with our Star City rating. Paul, why don't you go first?
I'm going to give this movie a solid 3. It is not my favorite Ant-Man movie, but it is definitely worth a rewatch. It's worth rewatching just for the Kang stuff, in all honesty. And then it's still got that snappy dialogue, and I love Scott Lang and all that. So I'm going to give it a 3. It may go up, though, upon a second viewing.
Okay. All right. I agree. I actually was talking with someone yesterday because they were going to go see it. They mentioned to me they were going to go see it. And I told them, I said, listen, it's a good Ant-Man movie. I told him, I said, I give it 3 out of 5. I said it's above average. good movie. It does what it was supposed to do, right? And what it was supposed to do was introduce Kang. You know, we got that, and it was great. So, you know, it like I said, it did its job. Again, the jump cuts, you know, in the middle of the movie were kind of a little wonky. Towards the end, there wasn't as many, and it wasn't as jarring as it was in like the middle area of the movie, in, like the second act. So, again, I think if you like Ant-Man, you're going to like this movie.
And if you don't like Ant-Man, why are you watching this movie?
Yeah, right? Also, why don't you like Ant-Man? But, you know, the comedy in this, there's plenty of comedy, but it's not forced, and it's not over the top.
Right.
Right? It's subtle and everything, just like, you know, Paul Rudd's comedy usually is.
It's very, very quippy.
Yeah.
Like, his delivery is always just so good.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever, the thing, like, you look at the difference between him and, like, Tony Stark. Tony Stark sounds like somebody's writing his jokes for him.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd, when he does delivery, it sounds very just natural,
Yeah.
very organic. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, Iron Man's reading from a script. Or, like, scratch that. Robert Downey Jr. is reading from a script. Paul Rudd's just kind of talking.
Yes.
And there's probably a lot more improvising on Paul Rudd's part.
Yeah.
Not to say either is better than the other.
Oh,
it's just difference in comedy.
Yeah. And you know, we always rag on Marvel for being quippy, but like this quippy type of stuff works for Ant-Man. You know, you don't need Iron Man to be so quippy or Captain America.
Also,
you know.
I don't need a serious Ant-Man.
Yes. That too.
That's what Hank Pym was.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, you at times you need serious, but overall you don't. But yeah, so that's going to wrap us up for our discussion on Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. But before we go, we do have our fan feedback Friday.
All right, this week, what is your favorite guilty pleasure superhero movie? All right, let's see. We have The Spirit, Batman 66, Daredevil, Green Hornet, and Dragon Ball Evolution. I'll still argue it's a superhero movie.
Really?
It's closer to a superhero movie than anything else.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
I'll allow it, I guess.
Oh, good, because I already read it. But if you guys want to participate in Fan Feedback Friday, it's super easy. Just go on Facebook, look up the Multiverse Fancast every Friday between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The question will pop up, so make sure you guys like it and comment on it, because sometimes they're really very entertaining. Cinematic had a good one with the Hogwarts houses this week.
Yep.
But if you guys want more of our content, you can find us on all social media. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Just type in either the Multiverse Fancast or the Misfit Faction. Odds are you'll find some of our stuff.
Great job.
Thanks, man. Worked hard on that one.
I'm sure you did, reading off that script.
I don't even have a script. Stop.
Haha, they don't know who's telling the truth.
Start the video. We're going to start doing video podcasting
go.
right
Just
now.
kidding.
Yeah, just start live streaming it.
All right, so that's going to wrap us up. As always, I'm Ronnie,
And I'm Paul.
and we'll be back in a flash.
See ya. That's what Ronnie says.
That is.
Stupid.